Qin Mo traveled to the world of pirates and became a chef at the sea restaurant Balati. When Qin Mo thought he might stay in Balati for a lifetime, the system was activated. Qin Mo obtained food cells, and under the influence of the system, the world of pirates also underwent changes. One area after another filled with food and danger has merged into the world of pirates. One terrifying beast after another appeared on the sea. Jack was hit by the drought caused by the Lijalu mammoth. The eagle's eye was cut off by a kitchen knife. Maria, attacked by the four beasts. The era of pirates no longer exists, now it is the era of cuisine.Feilu novel network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Through the pirates, I became a chef. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Assistant chef, the guests at table 5 are urging again. At the sea restaurant Balati, a newly entered kitchen assistant said to a young man cooking in the kitchen, whose name was Qin Mo, a traveler. Before crossing the road, Qin Mo had just graduated and entered society not long ago. As for how to cross the road, it's also unlucky to say. That day, Qin Mo, who had just finished work, was walking on the road and was hit by an out-of-control truck. When I opened my eyes again, I had already crossed into the world of pirates, and it was on the sea. Fortunately, the crossing location was not far from Balati, so I was rescued by Balati's chefs. Afterwards, Qin Mo stayed at Balati, and it has been 3 years since he traveled there. During these 3 years, Qin Mo also learned cooking skills from the chefs of Balati. Although he was not a chef before his time traveling, Qin Mo was also a person who loved food and at least had some culinary skills. After 3 years of training, coupled with Qin Mo's expertise in Chinese cuisine, which was completely unmatched in the world, Qin Mo successfully became the deputy chef after a year and a half. It has to be said that Chinese cuisine is very popular in any world. Although Qin Mo cannot fully cook various cuisines, he also has a good grasp of it. And now that I have become a chef and have been researching, I have come up with a variety of dishes, which has greatly boosted Barati's business. Let them wait. Qin Mo replied very decisively, cooking also takes time, and he cannot create dishes out of thin air. As for whether he will offend the guests, there is really no need to worry about these issues in Balati. Don't forget, Balati was founded by Jeep. There were many chefs who used to work as pirates, whether it was Jeep, Patty, or Sanji, their combat effectiveness was not weak. In the original work, even naval guests would beat up whenever they wanted, without hesitation. Qin Mo has also adapted to the environment of Balati in recent years. The only regret is Qin Mo's physical fitness, although his combat power has improved a lot, it can only be considered average. There's no way, there are too many abnormal things in this world. It's not that Qin Mo doesn't work hard. After Balati stood firm, he started exercising and learning some combat skills. But this thing really doesn't mean you can succeed with hard work. Their talents are there, and you can't even compare them. Plus, the time is also short, unless Qin Mo can obtain a more powerful demon fruit, but demon fruit is a rare commodity. Don't be fooled by the large number of capable individuals encountered by Lu Fei and others, but he is the protagonist. You can't just look at the numerator without looking at the denominator. Without access and financial support, Qin Mo had no way of obtaining the devil fruit. Of course, although the improvement brought by exercise is not very significant, Qin Mo did not give up. Anyway, it is only a little bit that can be improved. In fact, for Qin Mo, staying at Balati is also a good choice. After all, with his small physique, going out for a ride would basically result in death. Balati has developed well in the original work and there is no danger, so staying here is undoubtedly quite good. At night, Balati finished work. As the deputy chef, Qin Mo was quite comfortable and didn't need to worry about those trivial matters. And it brought good profits to Balati and also earned Qin Mo a lot. Just as Qin Mo was about to sleep, a message suddenly entered his mind. The appearance of this message made Qin Mo sit up instantly from the bed. In recent years, most of Qin Mo's thoughts have been worn down, and the only remaining thought is his golden finger. Logically speaking, a traveler with a gold finger should be a standard accessory. But just as he traveled through that time, Qin Mo also tried various methods and did not find any golden fingers. So he also gave up temporarily. In fact, Qin Mo has read many novels and knows that some golden fingers need some time to activate, or some special activation conditions are needed. He has made many speculations, such as whether activating the golden finger requires participation in the plot, whether it requires devil fruit, and so on. However, no matter which one it is, it's not what he should do now. He doesn't like to go around surfing, so being stable is naturally better. After all, there is only one life. Today happened to be Qin Mo's 3-year journey, and his golden finger was activated. The information that just came to my mind is about the golden finger. This is a system called the food fusion system, and its function is very simple, which is fusion. This fusion involves the fusion of regions created by certain systems every once in a while, which is a familiar part of Qin Mo's culinary captivity world, such as the Hell of Ice and the food pyramid. Qin Mo captures certain important and special ingredients, and the system will provide rewards. Fortunately, these are all created by the system and do not truly integrate the captured world of cuisine. Otherwise, if these two worlds merge, it would be a real dimensionality reduction blow for people in the pirate world. The captivating world of cuisine, whether it is technology, combat power, population, or any aspect, has no blind spots in all aspects, crushing the pirate world. However, even if there are no humans in the human world, the beasts in these areas alone are enough for people in the pirate world to drink a pot, without including the food world. In the human world, they are enough. Qin Mo can already imagine what kind of impact these ingredients and beasts that capture the world of food will bring to this world with continuous integration. The system's functions are very simple, and now Qin Mo has been given a beginner gift package. In addition, there is also a message that Qin Mo is very concerned about. The content of this information is also very simple, that is, more information will be obtained after his cell level exceeds 100 levels. This level 100, also known as the level 100 of the captured world of food, is based on food cells. Reaching level 100 is one of the basic conditions for entering the food industry. Once the level exceeds 100, the strength will undergo a qualitative change. Before and after reaching 100, they are completely two different concepts. The simplest example is the four beasts. Level 100, for me, there is still a long way to go. Qin Mo shook his head. Now is not the time to think about these things. He doesn't even have level 1 strength, so it's better not to think about level 100. The most important thing now is to first activate the beginner gift package provided by the system. According to Qin Mo's guess, there should be food cells in the beginner gift package, which is the foundation of everything. Chapter 2. Newcomer Gift Pack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After opening the beginner gift package, Qin Mo found that there were still quite a few items in the package, and the information of the items was also obtained as soon as possible. The first and most crucial thing is the food cell, which is the foundation of everything. There are only 3 ways to obtain food cells. One is innate, representing the 4 heavenly kings. The second is through consuming various advanced ingredients, representing Komatsu. The third is direct fusion, representing the ancestors of people in the demon food world. Except for the first type, the other 2 have risks, especially the last type, which has a very high mortality rate due to forced fusion. Moreover, even if successful, there is a high probability that some features of a food demon will appear on one's body. However, the portion provided by the system can be perfectly fused directly, but once the food cells are fused, a large amount of food is needed to supplement calories. Qin Mo is not worried about this. In Balati, there is naturally no shortage of ingredients. After fusing the food cells, one will obtain a food demon who is unconscious and, in other words, a puppet-like existence. Of course, the necessary strength and abilities will not be lacking. This also made Qin Mo couldn't help but give a thumbs up to the system. This is just the first thing. The second one is a portable space, 1 meter in length, 1 meter in width, and 1 meter in height. Although it looks small, this space will continue to expand as Qin Mo's strength improves. To put it simply, being so young now is also because Qin Mo is too weak, but Qin Mo has no choice. Through these years, he has been working very hard to become stronger. But becoming stronger is not something that can be achieved simply through hard work, otherwise the world would have been filled with 4 levels of power long ago. The third thing surprised Qin Mo very much, because it was a camping monster. Camping monsters rarely appeared in the world of food capture in the human world. But after entering the culinary world, one cannot do without camping monsters, such as watermelon octopuses on their way to the 8th continent and tram sharks on their way to the 7th continent. Camping monsters are unique in that they are naturally bred creatures, but their bodies have environments suitable for human survival. Even a series of electrical equipment are readily available, some of which are quite powerful, such as the Yao Shi, carrying a fortress and equipped with a large number of weapons. With the camping monster, Qin Mo no longer needs to search for a boat. This camping monster looks like a large sea turtle and is mainly suitable for sailing in the sea. Although it can also move on land, its speed is very slow. The name of a sea turtle is very straightforward. It is called a camping sea turtle, with a capture level of 10. Although the level is not high, camping sea turtles have strong concealment ability, similar to the watermelon octopus of Aru and others. The fourth item, Qin Mo recognized it immediately upon seeing it, which was the level measuring device used in the original work of Alu and others. This thing was made using the tongue of a calibrated chameleon. Of course, the measured level is only a simple cell level. The early cell level is relatively accurate, but in the later stage, the cell level is only for reference. In the later stages, there are many who can break through their own limits, and true combat power and cell level are completely different things. However, for Qin Mo at this stage, it is quite good. Although it is not possible to display specific information, being able to accurately measure the level is enough. Curious, Qin Mo used a measuring device to measure himself, and the number he obtained left him speechless because the level displayed on the measuring device was LV0, which meant that Qin Mo had not yet reached level 1. This is also normal, after all, according to the positioning of the captured world of cuisine, a creature reaching level 1 requires 10 fully armed hunters to capture. You should know that these people are all food hunters armed to the teeth, and they are still in the world of food captivity, which is a technologically advanced world. Qin Mo still has a certain amount of weight for himself. The last one is a virtual map of the world of pirates, which will be displayed directly on the map once it integrates the area deployed by the system. This is also a very good thing. After all, sailing in the world of pirates is indeed quite troublesome. It's okay in the 4 seas, just use a navigation chart, but when it comes to the Great Route, you need to use a permanent pointer. Now that he has this map, Qin Mo can go anywhere he wants, and even he can see the location of Rafdru on the map. This was originally a place that required 4 road signs in the historical text and interpretation before it could be found, but now it has appeared on Qin Mo's map. However, Qin Mo is not very interested in this place. Rafdru is a tool used by Rogge to attract others to go to sea. There are several speculations about what is inside, which may be a secret hidden by the world government, a relic of a huge kingdom, or nothing at all. As for treasures and similar things, they may also exist, but their attraction to Qin Mo is 0. At most, he is just a little curious. After the strength improves, if you're interested, just take a look. It's that simple. As for now, he doesn't care at all. The 5 items opened in the beginner gift package are undoubtedly very useful things for Qin Mo. 5 things, food cells, and a measuring device have been placed in the portable space. Both of these things are very small, and now the space is more than enough to hold them. Food cells are a blue solution that can be fused by drinking it directly, but before that, a large amount of food needs to be prepared to supplement calories. As for the camping turtles, they have been deployed to the surrounding waters, and Qin Mo now has some contact with the other party, who can directly issue commands remotely. After giving the camping turtle a command to move freely and not run far, Qin Mo went directly to the cold storage. There are many ingredients stored in the cold storage, and Qin Mo moved a lot of them into the kitchen. The earlier the fusion of food cells, the better. Restaurants still need to be open during the day, so completing the fusion at night is the best choice. Due to the large amount of food needed, Qin Mo naturally could not cook like a normal cook, but simply cooked it in the simplest and most rough way possible. Even though it was just the simplest cooking method, it took Qin Mo a lot of effort. He knew very well how terrifying a person's appetite would become after integrating food cells. The appetite of those people is no longer measured in kilograms, but in tons. Qin Mo. Why are you in the kitchen? With so many pots, are you making any new dishes? Just as Qin Mo was continuing to cook the ingredients, a voice came through, which Qin Mo was too familiar with. It was the voice of the chef, Yamaji. Chapter 3. Fusion of Food Cells. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The relationship between Qin Mo and Shanji is quite good. After all, Shanji is a guy who, apart from being lascivious, has basically no shortcomings, so Qin Mo is also willing to establish a good relationship with Shanji. Sanji. Why did you come to the kitchen so late? Qin Mo was also a bit curious, but there was no deliberate intention to hide it. After all, this kind of thing is not something that cannot be ignored. He only has one portion of the food cells in his hands now, and no one else knows the effect. Even if Qin Mo, as the deputy chef, directly uses up the ingredients on board, no one will say much. After all, the benefits Qin Mo has brought to Balati in recent years have not been insignificant. Now Jeep is already building several other branch ships, which is much earlier than the original work, because the Chinese cuisine system brought by Qin Mo has attracted more customers. Nowadays, people in Balati are in pain and happiness. After all, the number of guests they need to receive every day is increasing. After a day of work, except for a few physically challenged individuals, everyone else is exhausted. Of course, despite being exhausted, I still have a lot of money, so the underwater dessert ship and the connected iron plate burning ship that only appeared in the middle and later stages of the original work are already under construction and are about to be completed. Now it's entirely because the time to get the food cells is in the evening, so Qin Mo didn't ask anyone else for help. However, now that Sanji has brought them to his door, there's no need for free labor. I couldn't sleep and planned to take a stroll on the deck for a while, but when I heard something moving in the kitchen, I came over. You haven't told me what you're really doing yet. Looking at the pot, big and small, cooking something, Yamaji looked puzzled and puzzled. Isn't it obvious? Let's cook and eat. You came just in time to help. There are still many ingredients that haven't been processed properly. Qin Mo directly pulled the strong men from Shanji. Cook something to eat. Are you sure? After a while, looking at the ingredients cooked in the pot and a large amount of ingredients being processed, Sanji was almost bewildered. The quantity of these ingredients, Qin Mo was planning to make a late-night snack for everyone in Balati. Sure, rest assured that we won't waste food. Qin Mo also knew what Sanji was thinking. In fact, many people would make something to eat when they woke up at night, but the amount of ingredients Qin Mo used this time was quite exaggerated. I know now, then let's continue. Shanji also knew that Qin Mo would not casually spread rumors, so he would definitely not waste the food here. As for what he wanted to do, he would know when he finished it. With the efforts of the two, a large amount of ingredients were cooked after a period of time. As the cooking was completed, Qin Mo also avoided Sanji's gaze and drank the food cells directly. After drinking it, the food cells quickly fuse with the body, and the body is constantly being transformed, and a strong sense of hunger strikes. Qin Mo said that he had never experienced this kind of hunger before. Before traveling, he once had a day without eating due to being busy with something, resulting in low blood sugar due to hunger. After eating 4 bowls of rice in one breath, I finally recovered, but that feeling and the current hunger were completely at the level of a younger brother. At this moment, Qin Mo couldn't care less about being gentle or not, so he picked up the food in front of him and began to stuff it into his mouth. This battle has stunned the nearby Sanji. Hello, are you a bit too exaggerated? Sanji looked at this scene somewhat bewildered. He felt that describing Qin Mo as a starving ghost now was just praise. How could he eat like that? But now Qin Mo won't pay attention to him, he only has these foods in his eyes. As time passed, Sanji's expression also became more serious, because Qin Mo had eaten too much. I have eaten dozens of kilograms of food since I started eating it. This situation is not uncommon in the world of pirates. For some physically strong individuals, it is easy to eat tens or hundreds of kilograms of food at once. But Qin Mo's situation with Sanji is clear, and Qin Mo's physical fitness cannot be said to be strong, it can only be said to be completely unrelated to strength. In this situation, eating so much food is naturally abnormal. If it weren't for watching Qin Mo's stomach show no signs of bulging, Sanji would have stopped it long ago. But after eating so much food, Qin Mo's stomach was still the same as before, as if all the food he had eaten had completely disappeared. This is the dominance of food cells, with super strong digestive ability. As long as it is not a special ingredient, the vast majority of ingredients will be completely digested without leaving any residue. Now Qin Mo has turned these ingredients into calories by eating them, and the fusion of food cells has raised Qin Mo's calorie limit too much. Eating on this trend feels like it's not enough to eat at all. Sanji glanced at the remaining food and quickly brought in a lot of ingredients to continue cooking. Now he finally knows why Qin Mo used this simplest method when cooking just now. I have to do this because there are too many ingredients needed. Damn it, I can't keep up with the speed of eating at all. When is this supposed to last? Sanji was a bit anxious. Qin Mo ate too quickly, and he didn't ask anyone else for help because it was useless. Now he is not unable to complete the cooking, but you also need time to cook meat, and a large number of people cannot accelerate, so you can only watch and be anxious. By the way, there are also vegetables. Sanji quickly brought in a large amount of vegetables, which were different from meat. Many vegetables could also be eaten raw directly, and it was too urgent to eat raw meat at most. Anyway, it couldn't kill anyone. This kind of eating lasted for another period of time, and Qin Mo's movements suddenly stopped, causing his muscles to rapidly expand. Qin Mo's muscles have also been trained a lot in recent years, but they are not bulky or exaggerated. But now it's different. The muscle swelling instantly makes Qin Mo a super-muscular man. However, such muscles did not last for too long and quickly retracted again. In the end, Qin Mo's body returned to its previous state. However, the muscles on the body are more symmetrical than before, and it doesn't look bulky, like a cheetah, full of explosive power. At the same time, Qin Mo's consciousness had arrived in a pitch-black area. Is this my consciousness space? At the moment of arriving here, although no one explained it, Qin Mo recognized what place it was, as if he had known it from the beginning, which was very magical. After recognizing this place, Qin Mo was also a bit nervous. After all, coming here means that he will see his food demon next. Although this food demon is just a puppet, he has the necessary abilities and strength. Qin Mo also hopes to draw a stronger one. A powerful food demon is really important for food hunters. Chapter 4. Qin Mo's Food Devil. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In a pitch-black space of consciousness, soon a figure appeared. At the moment this figure appeared, Qin Mo recognized it and breathed a sigh of relief. This figure looked very sturdy, with dark green skin and yellow stripes all over his body. To be honest, at first glance it looks a bit like a humanoid watermelon with a round and plump head. This food demon is the sound ghost inside Zebula, one of the 4 heavenly kings of food. Although the sound ghost may not be the strongest among many food demons, it also ranks among the top. The strongest is undoubtedly the white ghost, and Qin Mo is also grateful that he did not draw the white ghost. After all, if he really wants to draw the white ghost, that is the most troublesome thing. The enhancement of food cells, in other words, is exploring the power of food demons. The stronger the food demon, the greater the limit, just like the white ghost inside Aru's body. But even at the end of the plot, Aru ate 8 ingredients and completely blended with the red ghost, so the white ghost couldn't come out casually. Even during that period, Aru's body could only support the white ghost's finger. So now that Qin Mo has obtained the sound ghost, he is already very satisfied. After all, this thing is random, who knows what kind of strange food demon it will create. And the sound ghost also possesses one thing, which is the demon king's hearing. The 4 heavenly kings of food possess the touch, smell, hearing, and vision of the demon king. Although the continuous activation of food cells will make the 5 senses stronger, the demon king's 5 senses belong to special abilities and are also a characteristic of these food demons. So this trick is not something that can be achieved simply by activating food cells. With the sound ghost, Qin Mo gained the hearing of the demon king. In Qin Mo's opinion, this move is the most useful among the 5 senses of the demon king. Although the 5 senses of the demon king each have their own advantages, the most comprehensive one is undoubtedly the integration of a series of abilities such as hearing, positioning, remote communication, attack, defense, control, movement, etc. It is simply a divine skill. After obtaining the hearing of the demon king, Qin Mo also withdrew from the consciousness space with great satisfaction. The sound ghost in front of him did not have his own wisdom, but was just a puppet. So Qin Mo can directly acquire the ability of Yin Gue himself, provided that he has the ability to release it. After leaving the consciousness space, Qin Mo's momentum continued to surge, and at the same time, some dark red lights appeared around his body. Upon seeing this scene, Sanji thought he was dizzy, but the next second, a figure appeared above Qin Mo's head, which was the sound ghost. The holder of gourmet cells can release the pressure of gourmet demons. When the pressure is completely released, the phantom of gourmet demons will appear in the sky. Now, although Qin Mo did not actively release his pressure, he integrated food cells for the first time, leading to the unconscious release of the food demon Phantom Shadow. As soon as this phantom appeared, Sanji's whole body was in a bad state, as if someone had directly stabbed him around the neck with a knife. This pressure had a wide range of impacts, and the entire Barati was awakened in an instant. Some fish in the surrounding sea were also affected. Those who were stronger and farther away could run away directly, while those who were weaker were even scared unconscious by the pressure. In a sense, the pressure of a food demon is similar to that of a domineering color, and the power of pressure will become stronger as the holder of the food cell continues to grow stronger. Of course, the power of the food demon cannot entangle and attack like the dominance of the overlord color. But one thing is that after the pressure of the food demon reaches a certain level, the demon's shadow will transform from illusion to entity, directly using the power of the food demon. This is how the meteorite spice of the 3 tigers is released. Fortunately, the demon's pressure came and went quickly. After Qin Mo realized it, he directly withdrew the demon's pressure. After obtaining the food demon, releasing the basic technique of demonic pressure was already like an instinct for Qin Mo. And although Qin Mo's strength has skyrocketed now, there have been no problems in controlling his power, which is another advantage for food cell holders. Even if power surges, it will not lose control. Of course, if you want to control every bit of power more accurately, you still need to practice hard yourself. Food cells only provide the most basic power control. This basic control simply prevents Qin Mo from stepping on a few holes on the floor or dismantling a few doors due to losing control of his power. Just now, what was that? Sanji finally regained his senses, his voice stuttering. At this moment, he wanted to smoke a cigarette, but his hand holding the cigarette was constantly trembling. Although Sanji has a certain level of combat power, the plot has not yet begun, and his strength cannot withstand such demon pressure, causing him to tremble all over. It can be considered as a demon fruit's ability. Qin Mo directly threw the pot to devil fruit, but in fact, there was no need to hide the gourmet cells. After all, only Qin Mo now has gourmet cells in this world. Even if others are aware of the existence of food cells, having them is undoubtedly a dream, even if those created regions merge, giving the world food cells. But obtaining it is still extremely difficult, except that food cells are more difficult to explain and can be more troublesome to expose. So Qin Mo's direct use of demon fruit to top the pot is undoubtedly the best choice. Devil's fruit. When did you eat devil's fruit? Sanji, who had slowed down a bit for a while, asked somewhat bewildered. Qin Mo has never left since coming to Balati. Where did he get this demonic fruit from? In recent years, Qin Mo has never left Barati, and now it is about a year before Luffy goes to sea. To be honest, Qin Mo has not thought about meeting the anime lady. But for the sake of his own life, Qin Mo still decided to stay in Balati and not go out to explore without this ability. Based on the original plot, Barati is undoubtedly the safest place. The two biggest crises were nothing more than one from Crick and one from Auntie. Auntie threatened Sandwich from afar. If Sanji doesn't listen, then there is no doubt that Ant's people will take action against Balati. If they do, there will be no such threat. So staying in Balati is undoubtedly the safest, so Qin Mo has never left Balati in the past few years. Chapter 5. Leaving Barati. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few days ago, I picked it up as it drifted over from the sea. Qin Mo casually made up an excuse. Before crossing the river, let alone humans, dogs probably wouldn't believe it. But in the world of pirates, this situation really exists because the formation of demon fruits is completely random. After the ability holder hangs, the ability of demon fruits will transfer, and some fruits will undergo changes. So as long as you are lucky enough, there is a possibility of picking up the devil's fruit while walking on the road. Qin Mo was just a casual excuse, but Sanji had to believe it because Qin Mo had never left Barati, so it was impossible for him to obtain the devil's fruit from elsewhere. Your luck is really good enough. You can easily pick up these treasures from the sea. Sanji also believed it and was a bit envious. Even if he didn't eat it and sold it, he could still make a lot of money. Moreover, judging from Qin Mo's current performance, although it is unclear what kind of ability this demonic fruit has, its effect is indeed quite astonishing. As the two spoke, there was gradually a commotion on the ship. After all, the people on board had basically regained their senses. It seems that there has been a lot of commotion. You can find someone to tidy up the kitchen and explain it to others. I'll go talk to Mr. Jeep. After Qin Mo finished speaking, he went straight to find Jeep. As for Sanji, he naturally had someone clean up the kitchen. Although the current kitchen cannot be said to be a mess, it is also a bit messy. After all, the two of them cooked a lot of food here. The people who were called to clean up were also a bit confused. Although the kitchen had already been cleaned before, now it is a bit messy, which makes them look confused. On the other hand, Qin Mo also found Japu and explained what he had told Sanji to him. Devil's fruit. You're really lucky. Jeep was also speechless, and he was naturally very aware of the preciousness of the devil's fruit. After all, he was also a person who had been to the Great Passage. I also think I'm lucky. By the way, boss, I came here this time to say goodbye to you. There are some things that need to be done. Qin Mo spoke up and said, "It's not like he wants to go to the waves once he has the power. If he has the opportunity to become stronger, he naturally wants to give it a try, but he will also be careful, after all, he doesn't want to die so early. If he wants to continue to become stronger and explore the system, he must go. Of course, he can also choose to continue staying in Barati and just mess around, but how could he be willing? I have never given up trying to become stronger before, after all, I have been exercising my body, but without talent, no matter how hard I work, there is not much effect. Farewell. It's really surprising. I thought you would spend your whole life here at Balati. To be honest, if you were to take over Balati, it would be quite good. As for Sanji, he can't be kept here." Japu spoke up and said that after spending the past few years together, he naturally knew Qin Mo very well. Even Qin Mo has been trained as a second-in-command, as the changes brought about by Qin Mo are evident to everyone. As for Sanji, Jeep and Sanji have also come from the brink of despair. According to reason, Balati should be left for Sanji. After all, Jeep can be said to have a kind heart for Sanji. It's not a problem for Sanji to have a father, but Jeep is also very clear about what kind of person Sanji is, so he knows that Sanji can't stay in Balati all the time. But now what he didn't expect was that a demonic fruit would shatter his plan to cultivate a second-in-command. I was quite surprised myself. If it weren't for this demonic fruit, I probably would have stayed in Barati all along. Qin Mo nodded. After all, staying in Barati was the safest choice. It was like crossing into the fire shadow world. When there was nothing, it was naturally safest to work in Yao Lamian noodles. Forget it, it's reasonable for young people to take a break, but this position as the deputy chef is reserved for you. You can come back whenever you want. Jeep spoke up and said that when he was young, he was also ambitious, but now he has been worn away and just wants to stay here to retire and live a good life. As for persuading Qin Mo to stay, he knew he couldn't, so he didn't say much nonsense. Qin Mo planned to leave in 3 days because it was time for Balati to purchase ingredients. At that time, Qin Mo happened to leave with him. Although there were camping turtles, he didn't want to make too much noise. So Qin Mo plans to take a procurement boat to the island and find a deserted place to camp turtles. This matter was also announced by Japu the next morning, and everyone was also reluctant to part with Qin Mo. After all, Qin Mo was quite a good person. Moreover, Qin Mo's appearance brought more income to Balati, and his wallet bulged. Naturally, everyone would thank the person who made his wallet bulge. During this period, Japu also told Qin Mo many things to pay attention to at sea. Although they were all very useful experiences, Qin Mo said that the vast majority of them seemed to be useless to him. Due to the presence of camping turtles and virtual maps, Qin Mo did not need to consider so much and had very few aspects to pay attention to. 3 days passed in a blink of an eye, and when the procurement ship departed, Balati's people also came out to bid farewell to Qin Mo. What's wrong? Can't bear it, or are you planning to go out and take a break? After most of the others returned, Jeep also noticed Sanji smoking. Can't bear it. This guy is not a beautiful woman, how could he possibly be reluctant to part ways, and I'm still waiting for you to take over Barati after you die. How could he possibly leave? Now that there's no competition from Qin Mo, no one will compete with me for Balati, right? Sanji also smiled as he spoke. Damn it, I'm not dead yet. However, the next second, Jeep's wooden stick kicked directly and accurately hit Sanji's forehead. The tremendous force thrust Sanji straight out, which was just close to the edge, so much so that Sanji was kicked into the sea by Jeep. Damn old man, do you want to kill me? Sanji, who poked his head out of the sea, angrily cursed at Jeep on the ship while holding his swollen head with a wooden stick. You're dead, and no one cares about my position. Leaving behind a sentence, Jeep no longer paid attention to Sanji, but turned his head and left. Although he kicked Sanji into the sea, his physical fitness was not yet a problem, and he naturally wouldn't worry. Soon, Sanji climbed onto the ship on his own. On the other hand, Qin Mo on the procurement ship is checking the integration function of the system. The placement of these areas is determined by Qin Mo himself, but the placement positions are random. As the number of regional integrations increases, the world of pirates will also continue to expand. After all, the Earth of the captured world of food is 659 times larger than the normal Earth, and this size is not for fun. Chapter 6. Advent of the Balong Islands in Rogge Town. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At present, the areas that can be deployed are all in the human realm. However, even in the human realm, there are not many areas that I can conquer with my current strength, especially in areas with special ingredients. If I deploy them now, it will be a dead end. Qin Mo looked at the areas that could be deployed. Without a doubt, they were all from the human world, but now the problem lies in his strength. After integrating food cells, Qin Mo used a measuring device to measure his level. His current cell level has reached level 7, which is considered very good. In terms of performance ability alone, Qin Mo estimates that his current strength is already among the top in the East China Sea. This is the conclusion drawn by Qin Mo through comparison. The object of comparison is the East China Sea hegemon click, whose reward is 17 million yuan. In addition to his weapons, the most crucial aspect of his performance is his strange power. Click's strange power can make him wield a ton, so his pure strength will be several times higher. In the world of food captivity, the Trojans reach a capture level of 9 and can easily overturn food tanks weighing over 40 tons. Although Trojan's body size is indeed much larger than that of humans, the calculation of capture levels is based on various aspects. The so-called physical strength has already been calculated, and Qin Mo's current pure cell level is 7, which is just a pure cell level. Taking Click as an example, Qin Mo's pure power has surpassed Click by a lot now, not to mention Qin Mo's abnormal trick of hearing like a demon king. Although Click is known as the hegemon of the East China Sea mainly because of his large fleet, his individual combat power is not weak. Therefore, in terms of combat power, Qin Mo is already considered very strong in this sea area of the East China Sea. Of course, the premise is that red hair and the absence of cap and others, as well as not including the golden lion. There are currently two regions that are most suitable for Qin Mo, one is the Balong Islands and the other is Hangulila Island. These two places, not to mention the Balong Islands, are the first adventure of Komatsu and Aru. As for the other island of Hangulila, it is also related to the pirate world. Because there has been a connection between pirates and food prisoners, this island of Hangulila is where Ollie and Luffy meet. However, after considering this place, Qin Mo still gave up. In theory, the capture level on Hangulila Island seems to be safer. But Qin Mo was not entirely certain, because Aru and others suffered a considerable loss on Hangulila Island. Although they only captured level 3 and level 5 beasts, they were able to briefly suppress Aru and others who had reached levels 20.30. So Qin Mo still decided not to touch Hangulila Island for the time being, so the only remaining option is the Balong Islands. In fact, besides the Balong Islands, there are some areas that can be explored, but most of the internal organisms in these areas are only level 1 and level 2, and even more are organisms without levels. Qin Mo needed to find areas with special ingredients, so he naturally targeted the Balong Islands. Although the Grala crocodile, also known as the Gala crocodile, due to translation issues, there are many versions, so I used the version I am most familiar with, which is 300 years old, has a capture level of 8. This level is one level higher than the current Qin Mo, but Qin Mo has the hearing of a demon king, so there is no need to be afraid of the other party. After determining the Balong Islands, Qin Mo directly chose to launch. Afterwards, Qin Mo shifted his gaze to the virtual map. Soon, there was movement on the virtual map, and the area where the Balong Islands appeared happened to be next to the town of Loj. And due to the large land area of the Balon Islands, they are directly across the road leading to the overturned mountains. The emergence of the Balon Islands did not occupy the territory of the pirate world, but rather had its own territory, directly expanding the world's territory. However, due to the appearance of the Balon Islands, the sea area between the town of Rogge and the overturned mountain was directly squeezed apart. For example, it was like a circle being squeezed into a circular ring. If you want to take the great route from the upside-down mountain now, you can only choose to take a detour. In fact, it is also possible to try crossing the Balon Islands, but this is completely impossible. After all, there is only one route for the Balon Islands to enter the islands, and only ships with no more than 20 tons can enter, and the route must be known in advance. Under such circumstances, it is impossible to transport the ship over, so the only option is to take a detour. Strictly speaking, the impact is not particularly significant, it's just turning the original straight line into an arc and adding more range. Of course, such an impact does not exist for the Navy, as these guys are all crossing the windless zone. However, at this point, Rogge Town is already in chaos. After all, such a large area appears next to Rogge Town. Although it does not directly border, it can already be seen with the naked eye. The area of the Balon Islands is not small, with over 200,000 species surviving on it. Note that it is not over 200,000 individuals, but over 200,000 species. So the land area of the Balon Islands goes without saying much. When the Balon Islands descended, the people of Rogge Town felt a tremor under their feet, which was only a momentary and not significant. If it weren't for the people around them feeling it, they might even have thought it was an illusion. But when people found out that they could vaguely see the outline of the Balon Islands at the edge of the town of Rogge, everyone was confused. Who can tell me what's going on? Why would such an island appear on the sea for no reason? Rogge Town, Smog was already in a state of chaos. He didn't understand what was going on. Even though it was still an endless sea before, an island suddenly appeared. And the size of this island is also very astonishing. I'm not sure at all, it just appeared out of thin air. When it appeared, everyone felt a jolt. Das Chi on the side also felt incomprehensible. After all, this kind of thing is indeed a bit too bizarre. Send someone over immediately. Forget it, I'll go take a look at the warship myself. Originally, Smog planned to send someone to investigate, but he had never heard of such a thing before, so he planned to go on his own and report it to the Navy headquarters after the basic investigation was completed. After hearing this, others also acted quickly, and the warship quickly headed towards the direction of the Balong Islands. Colonel, the sea ahead is full of reefs, and warships can't even get in. However, after the warship approached the Balon Islands, it dared not continue forward because there were too many reefs around the Balon Islands. Chapter 7. Smog breaking into the Balon Islands. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I have seen it, you guys stay here and wait for orders. Smog stood on the deck and naturally saw these large and small reefs. At this moment, he gave orders and directly used his fruit power to rush into mid-air. As a smoke fruit expert, flying is too easy for him. What a dense group of reefs, like a barrier, directly surrounding the island. After seeing the size of the reef group in mid-air, Smog was also very surprised. The reef group, like the islands, was simply too large to be seen at a glance. How could such a scale not be surprising? Curious, Smog also began to fly around the reef group, and he really wanted to know how large the reef group was. However, as he flew forward, Smog became even more alarmed because the size of the reef group was so amazing. No matter how he flew, the reef group was like an island, as if there was no end in sight. Wait, is this a passage? Smog, who was about to turn back, suddenly noticed different places. There were gaps between the reefs, but the previous ones were very close. However, at this moment, he noticed some differences. Afterwards, Smog also kept observing along this different place and soon discovered a route. This route is also the only one among the reefs that can lead to the interior, and warships definitely cannot pass through. Thinking of this, Smog returned directly to the warship and, after requesting a pen and paper, flew back to the place where he had previously discovered the route. Quickly, Smog drew the route, although it looked rough, at least it could be used. Smog's luck is actually good. There is only one route leading to the interior of the Balon Islands, which he has discovered now. This route is located on the island of Barbaria in the southern part of the Balon Islands. After the Balon Islands descended, the entrance was close to the direction of Rogge town, and Smog could fly, so this route was quickly discovered. Under Smog's command, the warship quickly arrived at the entrance of the route. Dashi, bring a few people and let's take a small boat inside, while the others stay on board the warship and wait for orders. Smog brought along more than a dozen naval soldiers, including Dashi, and drove in a small boat from the entrance of the reef group. The route map has been handed over to the assistants skilled in sailing. Even though such a small boat may not be fast, many positions require sharp turns, which has caused the boat to sway. However, in the end, the group finally arrived at the entrance of the mangrove passage in the Balon Islands, also known as the Ghost's Mouth, without any danger. The mangroves here grow so eerie, why does it happen to have such a neat passage? Looking straight ahead at the passage, several question marks popped up on Dashi's forehead. Not only she, but everyone else was the same. Next to her was a mangrove forest, but it grew so densely that it was impossible to find any gaps to pass through. But now there is a passage, and the mangrove forest has no intention of extending this way, which is very strange. It's really strange. Anyway, since we're here, we need to go in and take a look. Smog is an iron-headed child, and he will definitely do what he deems necessary. In the original work, he is like this, directly staring at Luffy. The group quickly took a small boat and arrived at the end of the passage, which was already a mangrove beach. The roar of many fierce beasts doesn't seem so safe on this island. The closer the group got to the beach, the clearer they could hear the roar coming from the forest. Just as Smog and others entered the Balong Islands, Qin Mo had already boarded his camping turtle and rushed towards the entrance of the Balong Islands. Although the placement is controlled by Qin Mo, he cannot control where it appears, so he can only rush over after the placement. As for whether others will take the lead, Qin Mo is not worried at all, after all, the most valuable ingredients in these areas. But people in this world don't know the value of these ingredients, even if they do, it's useless without food cells. So Qin Mo was not worried about anyone getting ahead. It's truly a camping monster, it's all there is to it. At this time, Qin Mo was inside the body of a camping turtle. The camping turtle was not small in size and was 100 meters tall. The entrance was located on the side of the turtle's shell, where there was a door. The interior is also divided into many completely different rooms, including bedrooms, bathrooms, living rooms, and even a control room located in front, which is somewhat similar to watermelon octopuses. You can directly order the camping turtle to go in which direction, or you can remotely control it from the control room. Unfortunately, camping turtles do not have many weapons on their bodies, only one gun is fired from the mouth, and its power is average, so the capture level of camping turtles is not high. However, Qin Mo didn't care, after all, he didn't expect to rely on camping turtles for battle, mainly relying on their stealth ability. While sailing under the sea, Qin Mo also saw some sea beasts of considerable size. Although they were not yet as big as sea kings, their bodies were also quite large. But these creatures seemed to be completely invisible to the camping turtles, and they swam over openly without any reaction from the sea animals. It can only be said that this hidden ability is truly powerful, which is the key ability of camping turtles. Compared to it, combat effectiveness can be completely ignored. Moreover, camping turtles have a very fast speed and virtual nautical charts, so there is no need to worry about the influence of so-called sea environment and other factors, and they just travel recklessly. Balati is not particularly far from the town of Logue itself, and the islands that were purchased during this period are also heading towards Logue Town. So after Qin Mo changed trains and combined with the speed of camping turtles, it didn't take much time to rush to the Balong Islands. A warship. That's right. For such a long time, the Navy in Logue Town couldn't let the Balon Islands appear out of thin air. But these guys actually found the entrance to the Balon Islands. Is it because of Smog? For the warship at the entrance, Qin Mo was not surprised by the warship's deployment, he was surprised that the warship had found the entrance. However, when he thought about Smog's ability, Qin Mo also understood that for this maze-like thing, it was undoubtedly the best from above, and Smog's demonic fruit ability allowed him to observe from above. So finding this entrance is not too complicated. Chapter 8. The Navy attacked by the Galactic Crocodile. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Due to the warship being above, Qin Mo also changed the position of the camping turtle and swam directly up, then entered the Balong Islands from the reef. This operation can be said to be easy for him now. The existence of the reef group plays the greatest role in blocking the entry of ships, but he is only a person, and his physical fitness is very terrifying, so he can naturally ignore it. Echolocation map. Qin Mo's voice swept from his body in all directions, and soon the situation near the entrance was thoroughly investigated. Having found the passage to the interior, Qin Mo naturally closed the echolocation map directly. The foundation of the echolocation map technique is the Demon King's hearing, which simulates the surrounding environment completely by releasing ultrasonic waves. However, this technique also consumes a considerable amount of calories. The larger the range and the longer the duration, the more calories are burned. At present, Qin Mo's calorie intake is still limited, but by the end of this trip to the Balong Islands, the problem of calorie intake will be basically solved. Because he has personal space, Qin Mo tested it and found that the ingredients placed inside can be permanently preserved without worrying about rotting or the like. And with the improvement of strength, the space that used to be only 1 cubic meter has also expanded a lot, enough to store a large amount of ingredients. As long as enough dishes are prepared in advance, he can easily replenish the calories burned anytime and anywhere, and then continue using echolocation maps without the need to save as much as he does now. Entering through the mangrove passage, Qin Mo also discovered the small boat that Smog and others were riding on. After arriving here, Qin Mo also changed into a new outfit. When he swam up from the sea before, his clothes were soaked through, so he didn't have to worry about this issue as he had plenty of space to carry around. In fact, it is also possible to directly release calories to dry clothes, but Qin Mo said that he has not yet been extravagant to this extent. In such a place, wasting calories is a suicidal behavior. Not far into the entrance, Qin Mo discovered the bodies of some fierce beasts and strange birds on the ground. It should have been left by people from the Navy. Qin Mo also did not take these corpses away because he was unsure if they could be eaten. Although he had watched the plot of the captured world of food and knew some biological characteristics, he was only limited to a very small number. He didn't know if he could eat these creatures in front of him. It should be noted that many organisms in the world of food captivity contain super strong toxins. Although food cells can directly produce antibodies in the body, it requires gradual adaptation. Not everyone can absorb and produce antibodies in an instant like Coco. Coco dares to play like this entirely because of the poisonous ghost in his body. The existence of the poisonous ghost gives Coco extremely strong antitoxicity, and his body is also filled with poisonous substances. Qin Mo dare not play like this. So he doesn't dare to eat things he doesn't know at all. In the Balong Islands, he knows very few creatures. Snake frogs, Balon tigers, swamp snakes, and growler crocodiles, among a few others, are certain to be eaten, while he dares not eat the rest casually. Balon leeches. Qin Mo suddenly moved his ears and heard some rustling sounds around him, which were very small and impossible for a normal person to hear. But for Qin Mo, it was clear that he had discovered the Balong leeches hidden around him. These leeches are a type of parasitic leech with a huge body size, and most importantly, if they are forcefully torn after being bitten, the wound will be terrifying. The body size of Balon leeches is not comparable to ordinary leeches. The most crucial thing is that it takes about half a day to stop bleeding in the area bitten by the Balon leech. It should be noted that it usually only takes 3 to 5 minutes to stop bleeding in a leech bite, but when bitten by a Balon leech, it takes a full half day. The most crucial thing is that the parasitic object in the original work of the Balon leech is the crocodile. Upon hearing the movement of the Balong leech, Qin Mo also avoided it directly. Although it was not a big deal to be bitten, he did not want to be bitten by these vicious creatures. There is a sound of fighting, it's about 17 kilometers away from here. After walking for a while, Qin Mo heard the sound of fighting and clearly determined the other party's position. This is the terrifying aspect of the Demon King's hearing. Even if it is over 10 kilometers away, one can still clearly hear the other person's voice and determine their location and distance. In fact, now it's still because Qin Mo is too weak, so the Demon King's hearing is also very weak. In the original work, even if Zebula just appeared, he can release sound bombs and communicate with Aru from tens of kilometers away. This is the distance that can release sound, and it is not the limit distance, and pure listening is many times farther than communication, which means Zebra can hear the sound of mosquito wings clearly from hundreds of kilometers away. Qin Mo is still far away from this level, but the sound of battle can still be heard clearly from a distance of more than 10 kilometers. From the sound heard, it can be seen that both sides in the battle had strong combat capabilities, and one side was still a huge creature. Qin Mo followed the sound and went straight over. After getting closer, Qin Mo also heard a very chaotic sound of footsteps, which was the sound of running rapidly, and it was very chaotic. If nothing unexpected happened, he should be running for his life. As Qin Mo approached, on the other side, just like the voice Qin Mo heard, there was indeed a group of people running for their lives. This group of people is the navy that followed Smog into the Balon Islands. Behind this group of navies, followed by a huge creature, the trees along the way were as fragile as paper in front of each other, unable to stop their footsteps. And this huge creature was a huge crocodile. In the sky above the crocodile, there is another person, who is Smog. Damn it, how could this guy's defense be so strong? The effect of White Fist is too small. At this moment, Smog also had an anxious expression on his face. The giant crocodile below was chasing his subordinates, but he was powerless and wanted to stop them, but the effect was minimal. And the reason why it turned out this way is also related to the exploration of the Balong Islands before. At that time, Smog and others entered the suddenly appearing Balon Islands for exploration. Not long after entering the Balong Islands, everyone encountered their first problem, which was the Balong leech. They didn't have the hearing of Qin Mo's Demon King, and now Smog wouldn't see the aura of lust. Although his own alertness allowed him to avoid the attack of Balong leeches, his subordinates were caught. Chapter 9. The Encounters of the Navy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although everyone knew how to deal with leeches, they had already entered a distance into the forest and were not carrying any salt, so they had to forcibly remove the barren leech. Originally, it took half a day to stop bleeding after being bitten by the Balong leech. Forcibly removing the Balong leech resulted in even more exaggerated blood flow. Fortunately, they have brought some therapeutic items with them, so there won't be any major problems. But after being bitten by the barren leech, it naturally became the prey of the crocodile, equivalent to being marked. As the group continued to deepen, they also witnessed more and more fierce beasts, and due to their insufficient deterrence, many of these beasts launched attacks directly upon discovering them. In such an environment, deterrence is very important. In the original work, when Aru and Komatsu stayed overnight in the Balong Islands, other creatures only dared to surround them and dared not attack. This is all because the aura emanating from Aru's body intimidated them. When facing the Grara crocodile, Baru's lack of full pressure led Komatsu to mistake it for Tyrannosaurus rex. Usually, Baru's body also emits some pressure that fierce beasts can perceive. The same applies to Qin Mo nowadays, as this kind of pressure is only possessed by those with culinary skills. Smog and his group of people naturally cannot possess culinary cells, and they also do not have domineering aura, so their deterrent power is insufficient, leading to these fierce beasts launching attacks after discovering them. For the attacks of these fierce beasts, Smog and others naturally took action without hesitation. Where exactly did these strange-looking guys come from? I've never heard of them at all. After killing some ferocious beasts, Smog and others also gathered around to study. These ferocious beasts and birds were not even recognized by them, and each one looked very strange. For example, a beast with only one eye occupies half of its head with its eyes, while a strange bird with a wild boar head has 8 legs, resembling a spider. It is simply a monster pieced together. There are also a lot of strange creatures in the sky, although they are not difficult to deal with, they are really a bit too strange. They are all creatures that Smog has never heard of. Although Smog dare not say that he knows all the creatures on the sea, he has studied in the Navy and basically knows them. However, none of these creatures are familiar to him. Not only him, but everyone else is also confused. Just as they continued to explore and kill several waves of fierce beasts, a group of huge creatures suddenly appeared, which were the Balon tigers from the Balon Islands. Balong tigers operate in groups, standing 3.5 meters tall and 6 meters long, with sharp claws and terrifying teeth. Especially the 2 huge fangs, like saber-toothed tigers, have impressive killing power. Colonel Smog. Seeing these Balon tigers appear, the Navy soldiers were also startled and instinctively called Smog. After all, Smog is their backbone, and he is a natural demon fruit power expert, almost invincible in the East China Sea. We should have been attracted by the smell of blood, and we're surrounded. It seems like we can't leave without killing these guys. Don't choose to attack, just protect yourself. Smog had no intention of asking his subordinates to help. The naval soldiers in the East China Sea were not very strong in combat, and when faced with the Balong tiger capturing level 3, this group of people went up to deliver food. Smog was also aware of this, so he asked the others to just save their lives and take responsibility for the rest. The level of Balong tiger is only level 3, and it can still be used as a beast with a quantity that can be overwhelming. Once the level passes level 5, the quantity will have no effect. However, even at level 3, it would require 30 fully armed hunters to handle it. Currently, the number of naval personnel is completely insufficient, let alone the weapons in their hands. Against such a fierce beast, Smog's Smog fruit played a big role, and the Balon tiger's attack had no effect on Smog at all. But Smog's attack could open up the defense of the Balon tigers, and after killing a few Balon tigers, the remaining ones ran away directly. It's too dangerous here, let's leave first. After being surrounded by the Balong tigers, Smog also decided to leave with everyone. He didn't want to joke about the lives of his subordinates. But just as he was about to leave, another behemoth attracted by the smell of blood had arrived. The Grala crocodile, with a body length of over 25 meters and a height of over 5 meters, and 8 legs, was attracted and had already turned them into prey. White Fist. At the moment of seeing the Grala crocodile, Smog didn't hesitate to take action. The aura emanating from the Grala crocodile was quite terrifying. However, his white fist hitting the Glera crocodile only affected the opponent's movements and could not cause substantial damage. The current Smog is not the Lieutenant General Smog a few years later, he is still just a colonel. The Grala crocodile, which reached level 8, could only be repelled by a ruse fist and could not cause substantial damage. It was only after using kitchen utensils, knives, and forks that the Grala crocodile was defeated. During this period, Baru's level was over 10 levels, and his brute force was even more terrifying. His fists were unable to directly break through and defend against the Crocodile, let alone the current Smog. And most importantly, there is also a problem with the current Smog attacks, which are either fists or 10 hands in hand, with limited killing power. As for the knives and firearms of other soldiers, they are completely unbreakable when fired. During this period, Smog also had the thought of attacking fragile parts like the eyes, but the agility demonstrated by the Crocodile surprised him greatly. With such a large body size, it moves very quickly without any sense of clumsiness. This is also a major characteristic of the captivating beasts in the world of food. Even the Lijalu mammoth, which is over a kilometer in size, does not have much clumsiness when moving. Realizing that he and others had no choice but to deal with the guy in front of him, Smog could only let everyone escape. He stayed behind to deal with the Galactic crocodile. Others are also well aware that Smog is invincible, so they just turned their heads and ran away. The crocodile, on the other hand, opened its large mouth and quickly swept away the corpses of these fierce beasts in front of it. The speed of its feeding left Smog stunned. After finishing these fierce beasts, the crocodile didn't seem to have eaten at all, but instead turned its gaze to Smog. Chapter 10. Differences between comics and reality. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Smog, in order to procrastinate, naturally chose to engage in a fight with the crocodile, but soon the crocodile discovered a problem. The prey in front of him was simply unable to bite. Firstly, Smog can fly and it is difficult to attack him. Secondly, even if it does, it will pass through the opponent's body, and the thrown Baron Leech will also directly pass through Smog's body. After discovering this, the crocodile also knew very well that it could do nothing to the other party, and it also realized that the other party's attack was of no use to itself. Realizing this, the crocodile chased in the direction of the Navy soldiers who had previously escaped. You should know that the higher the level of a creature, the stronger its combat power and the higher its level of intelligence. The crocodile with level 8 has lived for over 300 years, so its intelligence will naturally not be low. So it immediately changed its target, and Smog tried to block it as much as possible after discovering it. But at most, his move is to slow down the opponent's speed a bit. The 8 legs of the crocodile are not a decoration, and the trees in front cannot stop it. Smog's move can only delay the opponent at most, and it is impossible to stop them. Moreover, even obstructing the opponent's line of sight with one's own abilities is useless. The crocodile relies on the smell of blood to track its prey. Although the wound of the naval soldier who was previously attacked by the Baron Leech was bandaged, the bleeding has not completely stopped. So a group of Navy soldiers were running for their lives, while the crocodile was chasing them. Above them, there was a scene of Smog constantly attacking and obstructing the enemy. Generally, the body length of a level 5 crocodile is around 18 meters. This one is obviously much larger, so it's probably the one who has lived for over 300 years. These guys are really unlucky. Wait. After Qin Mo arrived, he also saw this scene and did not intend to help. At this stage, exposing himself to the Navy is completely foolish behavior. He has a clear understanding of the virtues of the Navy. Of course, this does not mean that he stands on the side of pirates. In other words, he is a lone ranger, and now he simply does not want to cause trouble. If the person being chased is replaced by Nami, then Qin Mo will go and save her. After all, he really likes Nami. He is also a normal man and likes beautiful girls. No matter how much you like it, you still need to consider the specific situation carefully. For someone like Nami who has no influence, can save her life, help her solve the problem in her hometown, and then directly take her home. Qin Mo naturally won't let it go. Now this group of people, after being saved, will only cause a lot of trouble. Although Smog has a strong sense of justice, this guy will also bring a lot of trouble. As for Dashi, although he likes beautiful girls, it's not like he can't walk when he sees beautiful girls. However, Qin Mo heard another voice at this moment, and a huge creature was approaching. In theory, the area where the crocodile is located, and it is still this 300-year-old creature, other creatures would love to stay away, but now there are other creatures approaching, which is surprising. The most crucial thing is that as Qin Mo listened carefully, he quickly came to the conclusion that the one rushing towards this side was also a galactic crocodile. I was misled by the plot of the manga. Qin Mo also realized the problem, as the original work was only a manga, so there were naturally not many things presented. The Balon Islands have lived for over 300 years and captured level 8 Galactic crocodiles, but if one appears, there must be more than one. And how many species of organisms are there in the Balon Islands? With over 200,000 species, how could a giant crocodile like this directly disrupt the ecological balance of the Balon Islands on its own? Although there are many beasts to eat in the world of food captivity, the size of the Galactic crocodile is just here, and the capture level is not high. In this situation, one head cannot cause much waves in the Balong Islands. Qin Mo also overlooked this point in the comic plot, and now he realized it when he heard the commotion of another giant crocodile. In the future, the plot of comics can only be used as a reference. Fortunately, with the Demon King's hearing, there is no need to worry about losing out. Qin Mo also warned himself. Afterwards, he didn't pay attention to the situation here anymore, but rushed towards the direction of another Galactic crocodile. The Galactic crocodile was obviously also aimed at these naval soldiers. Qin Mo didn't attack the previous one just to avoid causing trouble, but now that it hasn't passed, Qin Mo naturally doesn't want to let it go. Quickly, Qin Mo met with another giant crocodile from Galactic. It's a bit smaller than the previous one, but it's also over 18 meters. After a visual inspection, Qin Mo put on a measuring device, which had a range of 50 meters. Hiding from behind to measure did not attract the other person's attention. As a light strip touched and retracted from the Galactic crocodile, the level of the Galactic crocodile at that time was also displayed on the measuring device. Capture level 6, which is also above level 5, but weaker than the other end. After seeing the displayed numbers, Qin Mo was also delighted. With a simple cell level, he was still above this Galactic crocodile, so naturally he didn't want to let the other party go now. Sound wave sharp blade slash. Taking advantage of the fact that the other party did not notice him, the invisible ultrasonic waves turned into invisible sharp blades in the Demon King's hearing. At this moment, the Galactic crocodile did not even realize that the crisis of death was approaching. The next second, an invisible ultrasonic blade swept across the Galactic crocodile in front of him. The next second, the Galactic crocodile's movements stopped immediately, followed by its massive body being dismembered in 8 pieces. Qin Mo didn't hesitate to release the sound wave sharp blade and swiftly killed the giant crocodile in front of him. This move utilizes the fast vibration frequency of ultrasonic waves to directly remove the opponent in 8 pieces from the inside out. It has extremely strong killing power, but also consumes a considerable amount of energy. Although these moves are powerful, they also consume a staggering amount of energy. Even when Qin Mo's body is full of calories, he cannot use them too many times. This kind of combat speed is the main melody of the captured world of food battles, where the move is a killing move, and it is rare for battles to last for a long time. Even battles between top forces will end in a very short period of time, and it is impossible for a situation like the One Piece world, where they fight for days and nights at any time. After killing the Galactic crocodile, Qin Mo cleared the Balong leech from the other person's mouth before putting it in his personal space to eat in a suitable place.